Good morning. Good morning, Claudio. Good morning, Paula. How are you? How was the long weekend? Did you rest a little or only studying and studying? Rocio, did you rest a little or nothing? Hello, Rocio, are you there?
Sorry, hi miss.
Why don't you have your camera on, Rocio?
Al tiro la pongo.
Okay, remember you have to speak English. Okay, we are in an English class, so we are supposed to speak English here. Everybody, yes? How was your long weekend, Claudio?
Tired. I
Did,
have to study a lot.
oh, yeah. Oh, this is Federico Santamaria University, you know. Students study a lot, yes? Okay, so here we go. Family life. This is our last class that we are going to talk about the family. We have been using, you know, the verbs make, let, have, get, want, ask, and tell. And today we are going to focus our attention on the past tense of your family memories. So please, everybody, handouts. You have your handouts there somewhere? Because we are going to start with handout number 10 today. Yes? We are going to use used to and would in the past to talk about your memories. Yes? These are some grammar, you know, expressions that you use. So when do you use used to? You use used to for regular activities or situations in the past that don't happen now or are no longer true. And you know this because you have studied used to before, yes? So you can say, I used to go to the beach. I used to go to El Quisco, you know, um, every summer, yes? And my grandmother used to keep candy in her pockets. The five of us used to play on a team. I used to go over my sister's house a lot because last class we read about Misun and she said that her grandmother used to keep candy. Claudia from Puerto Rico used to come over for Sunday dinner. Hassan used to live next door and John used to love playing basketball with four brothers. So we uh, use used to. Remember, when you use the negative, you say, I didn't used to. No D here, no D, because you have didn't. And also when you have the question, what kind of music did you used to like? Use here is without D, only use, use. Now, would is also used for regular activities in the past, but they are not necessarily that, you know, like used to that are no longer true. For example, I played with my niece and nephew and the abbreviation is apostrophe D. She'd always give us some. We would always win. Don't use would for situations in the past. For example, my sister used to live next door. No would, because this is a situation, it's a stative verb. Yes, for example, the same happens with the verb have. You say, you never say I would have, you know, because it's a stative verb. Normally, Rocio, Paula, in a conversation, you start a story in the past with used to, and then you continue with would. For example, here, My family used to go to the beach in the summer, and we'd go almost every weekend. So you start with used to, and then you continue with another sentence with would. Complete each sentence and add a sentence with would. My mother used to make for us. What can you say here? My mother used to make in the past. What can she make?
Mm,
For example, Isidora, my mother used to make.
breakfast? I
Okay.
don't know.
And can you, Isidora, add another sentence with would?
Um, we. Oh, okay. But in the same context
Yes,
about
yes,
breakfast?
yes, because I said before that you often start telling a story with used to, and then you continue with another sentence with would. So the idea here is
Okay.
used to and would.
Okay. My mother used to make breakfast for us. We had breakfast together every Sunday.
Very good. We'd had, or we would have, we
Mhm.
would have. After would, you use a verb in present.
Yes.
Okay, number 3, please. Catalina Carrasana. Do you have a camera, Catalina? Gonzalo, Diego, thank you. My mother used to make for us. Isidora said, my mother used to make breakfast for us, and we would have breakfast together every Sunday. That's Isidora's sentence. Can you create 2 sentences, Catalina, for number 3?
Um, my my brother and I used to play basketball together.
Uh-huh. And then you can say we would.
Mm, no entiendo cómo se hace.
You have to say first used to and then would, because this is in a conversation. First, you say a sentence with used to and then another one with would.
Um, we we play together every weekend.
Okay, we would play together every weekend. Gonzalo, can you try number 4, please?
My family used to watch Malcolm, that TV show on TV.
Uh-huh. And we would, what can you
We
say?
we would watch uh, that TV program every night.
Excellent. We would watch that TV program every night. Diego Pino, I used to see.
I used to see my aunt, uncles, and cousins this weekend.
On weekends.
On week, oh, so sorry. On weekends, we'd go almost every month, maybe.
We would visit them, you can say. We'd visit them every month.
Okay,
Because first used to and then would.
okay.
Can you say, Diego, that again? I used to.
I used to see my aunts, uncles, and cousins on weekends. No,
Yes.
okay. It's like O sea, es como decir todos los fines de semana, algo así.
Yes, on
Que, como, que llegue un
weekends.
poco tarde. Ah, ok, perfecto.
And
I used
then,
to,
and then the idea, Diego, is that in a conversation, you begin with used to, and then you say another sentence with would in the past, because you use used to for activities that are no longer true now in present, repeated actions in the past, and then you continue with would for regular activities in the past. I used to go over my sister's house a lot. I play with my niece and nephew. My grandmother used to keep candy. She would always give us some
okay.
candy. Yes? So you say here.
Okay, I used to see my aunts, uncles, and cousins on weekends. We'd go almost every month.
Excellent. We would go
Okay.
or we would visit them every,
Relacionado con la oración. Okay.
yes, we would
Con ese-
visit them every month. My grandparents used to take me, Ying.
My grandparents used to take me to the park. We would to play in a slip. Respaldo?
Ah, we would play on the slide.
On the slide.
We would play on the slide. Yes, because you said that they used to take you to the park.
Yes.
Paula Chavez, my family always.
My family always used to visit my grandmother on Sundays. We visit her every weekend, every
Very
Sunday.
good. Yes, we would visit her every Sunday. Yes. So here we have, you use used to for actions and states. Used to with stative verbs. Yes. Stative verbs. What are the stative verbs? Okay, the stative verbs in English. Okay, here we have a list. This is not in your course plan, okay? Stative verbs are not using continuous tenses. You have feelings, thoughts, senses, possession, and measure, cost, and others. So you don't use would with the stative verbs. No would with the stative verbs.
No, think,
Yes?
understand. Like, dislike, love, hate, prefer, want, need, mind, care. No.
Thank you. Very good. Yes, Pia, you are paying attention to my class, baby. Thank you, Pia. Continue.
Está bien.
No, wonderful. It seems that you're paying attention to my class. That's great. So I was going to say someone to read the verbs for me, but you can do it. So you finish with the feelings. Continue, Pia, with the thoughts or opinions. No, think.
Know, think, understand, believe, guess, means, suppose, doubt, realize, remember,
Realize.
remember, forget, agree.
Agree. And then you have senses. Yes? They are normally not used with ing, and they are normally, as we said before, here you use it only with used to, not with would. This is key, okay? Not with would. So let's see. In the senses, we have feel, hear, see, smell, sound, taste, touch, and look. Possessions, belong, yes, own and have, the same. And finally, you have cost, measure, You can repeat after me if you don't know the pronunciation, okay? Measure, weigh. Oh, I owe you one. Do you know that verb? Oh, te debo una. I owe you one. Thank you. Yes. Seem, be, appear, and consist. So you can see the recording again later when you study to know the stative verbs. And remember that they are not used with would. So in the questions, remember that here you put use, no used, not D. It's like the typical rule for the past tense, okay? And yeah, used to is used more often than would. Would is not so common, but it's used so much. So you use would to for an event that happened many times. It's more formal. Cannot be used with the stative verbs, yes. And no negative or question. Yes, you don't use it in the questions or negatives. Normally, you only ask the question with use. For example, did you used to go to the beach every summer? Yes, I did. I used to go every summer to El Quisco, and we would play in the sun all day. Yes? So this exercise is in your handouts. And here it says, fill in the correct form of used to or would. In both answers are possible. Sorry, I don't see very well. If both answers are possible, use would. Yes, for example, live. Michael Jordan. We are talking here about basketball, by the way. Michael Jordan and, you know, the Chicago Bulls and all, you know, the important players. But today in basketball, the most important basketball player is, do you know the most important basketball player in the world?
LeBron? LeBron James?
LeBron James, of course. Yes. And they won, you know, the NBA Saturday, I think. They won the NBA, and my children love him and they saw the game. Okay, but Michael Jordan was also an excellent player, but I think LeBron James is much better, but we are going to talk here about the past, okay? So here it says, Michael Jordan, you say, used to live in Brooklyn, in New York. When he was young, he often played basketball with his older brother. What can you use, excuse me, what can you use here? He used to often play or he would often play?
He would.
He would. Yes, because if you say used to, it's repetitive. Porque ya used to significa que fue una actividad repetitiva en el pasado. Entonces, si digo used to y más encima digo often, es como que redundante. Entonces, vamos a usar, when he was young, he would often play basketball with his older brother. Okay? So, you are going to work in groups. Yes, you are going to work in groups. You have this in your handouts, but you are only going to do until number 10. No more than 10, okay? So you have to do number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in breakout rooms. You have 5 minutes to do this. No, I don't want this. Breakout rooms. No. Okay, what is this, guys? Why do I have here? No, I don't want recreate. Okay, assign automatically. Okay, so we have room number 1, add a room. Claudio, go to room 2. Gonzalo, move to room 2. Pia, move to room 2. And then add another room. And we're going to have Isidora in room 3. Jean in room 3. And Diego Pino in room 3. Okay, so here we have other rooms. Please, you have 5 minutes to do until number 10, please. Work now. And I am also going to share the link in the chat, okay? Rocío?
Yes,
Did you have time to finish?
yes,
Okay,
Yes.
in the chat you have the link. Yes. And here you have the answers. So, are you correct? Can you please check from 1 to 10? Okay, so you have all,
just
Rocio?
just 9 is incorrect. Uh,
Yeah, remember that when you say often, used to is redundant.
okay.
If you say often, it's used to. So number 9 is would. Is everybody checking the activity, guys? Please, I want you to do the rest of the exercises by yourself because we only did until number 10. But when you study, you can do the rest and you have the answers there, okay? This is in the link that I shared in the chat. Okay, so we have Michael Jordan used to live in Brooklyn. Again, when he was young, he would often play basketball with his older brother. Yes, Paula, can you continue? Read number 3 and number 4, please.
He didn't used to play only basketball, he played football and baseball too. He really wanted
Wow. Wow, he not only basketball, also football and baseball. Uh-huh.
he really wanted to grow tall, so he would put salt in his shoes and pray, and it worked. He didn't grow tall. He did grow tall.
And it worked. Yeah, and it worked. Incredible. Okay, Catalina Carrasana, read number 5 and 6.
When he was a child, he would often dream about winning an Olympic gold medal. When Michael Jordan played in NBA, there didn't used to be 30 teams as there are today.
When Michael Jordan played in the NBA, there didn't used to be 30 teams. Okay, so he was, when he began, NBA was a smaller. Gonzalo, number 7 and 8, please.
Did you used to cheer for Michael Jordan when he was a Chicago Bulls player? Scottie Pippen is the youngest of 12 children, and he used to live in a small town in Arkansas.
In Arkansas. Arkansas is the pronunciation. You can say Arkansas also in American English, but in British they say Arkansas. I don't know why I remember that. Probably I did some exercises at the university with that pronunciation, but it just came to my mind. Scottie Pippen is another good basketball player. Yes. Claudio, can you read number 9 and 10, please? When he was young.
When he was young, he would dream about making the winning shot in the seventh game of the NBA championship. Um, did did Scotty used to play basketball very well? No, he didn't.
He was not a good basketball player, but then, then he learned. Then he learned because practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better you get. And the same with English. The more you practice, the more you speak, the more you repeat, the more you imitate, the better you can progress. Tell me please about you. Tell me about the activities, the repeated activities you used to do when you were children. For example, I used to go to Valle Inglesa every summer. I would take the bus with my grandmother and we would stay in Copiapó for a couple of days with my aunt Nona. And then we used to travel to Valle Inglesa from Copiapó to my godmother's house, and we stayed there for 2 months. It was fantastic. I have very good memories, and I made a lot of friends there from Copiapó. I didn't see him anymore, but I have good memories. What about you? Any repeated activity similar to my story? Jin, did you live in China when you were a little girl?
Yes.
So you used to live in a house in China? Where, in what city, in what town?
I used to live in the countryside in Canton and in a very small house.
And you would do anything special? Because remember, you can start an activity with, you can start a story with used to, and then you incorporate would. Remember? Jing?
Estaba pensando.
I was thinking.
I used to steal my grandma cookies and I will eat in my room.
Okay, so Jing would steal grandma's cookies and she would eat them in her room. I remember that I would buy berlines in the kiosk and I didn't want to share them with my classmates. So I used to hide myself behind the kiosk and I ate, the berlines so fast not to share them with my, berlines? The berlines were very common in my age, in my days at school. Now they are, really fat and greasy food, so they don't sell berlines in schools anymore. They are supposed to sell healthy food, fruits, vegetables, and not only fat. But in my days, we ate anything. So bad. Any stories that you remember? On vacations, did you go to the same place or to a different place? What did you used to do? For example, Isidora, you live in the country. Where do you live, Isidora?
I live, but it's not country, it's like kind of.
Where do you live? Tell your classmates because you don't know them.
Okay. I live in Rancagua, in my house. It's a really nice place. I love being in my house. it's comfortable.
Mm,
I live here since 4, 5
mhm,
years.
mhm. Okay, but do you have any memories when you were 5 years old? Remember that you have to say,
Um,
I've lived here
oh,
since I
yes,
was 4. Look at the chat, please, everybody. You use the
yes.
present perfect. I have lived here since I was 4.
I used to came here with my mom and dad when I was that age, and I like to see the construction, like I don't know how to say. Um, Here we said no sé, maestros, pero no sé cómo.
The carpenters?
Yes, but I like to annoy them. I came here and I los molestaba a cada rato.
Uh-huh. How do you say molestar?
I I don't know.
I tease them.
Like I teach them, yes, and I ask them everything, and I don't know. I don't know why.
Mhm.
In
But
fact, they told me that they told my parents not to bring me here,
oh,
but I love to. I always join them because I was expecting to came to my new house.
okay, I
So
understand. So
they
you
hate
used
me.
so you used to go there when they were building your house.
Yes.
And how many years did they take to build your house? 1 year, more or less?
Two maybe. See,
Yes,
yes.
they always take a long time to build. Yes, that's
Mhm.
true. Uh-huh. Gonzalo, you are from
Yeah.
Iquique. Do you have any memories from the beach? Were you
Uh,
born in Iquique?
yes, I I have lived here since I was born,
Mm-hmm.
so I have a lot of memories in the beach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like every person from Iquique.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I
Cavancha is a famous beach over there, right?
yes, it's the
Gonzalo,
best beach.
can I ask you something? Is it true that it's full of immigrants over there?
Um, yes, I always have been like that here in Iquique, but in these days
More.
is really full of immigrants.
Yes, because in the past it was only from Peru, right? And Bolivia.
In the past, were a lot of people from Pakistan, like India.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, I remember that my husband worked in Iquique and he rented an apartment there and I was there for a month, I think, many years ago. And I remember that in the elevator, I always saw people from India and Pakistan.
Yes, in
And
fact,
now,
my family has a friend from Pakistan,
mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm,
it's so common um, to know people from there.
uh-huh,
Uh,
okay. And now, where are they
now
from?
now now it's full of people from Venezuela,
Mm-hmm,
and the problem is that the residencias sanitarias
mm-hmm.
are full, so there are some people doing almost quarantine in the beach
Oh,
or
yeah,
in the streets, so it's a problem.
I
It's a
see.
very big problem for the city.
I have seen the pictures, so they need to do something, you know. We need laws, we need regulations. And I have a friend that lives in Australia. She moved there 10 years ago. And the first thing they do when you go there to as an immigrant, they ask for a lot of medical exams. And they also take your blood and they give you more tests to check your health. So that's the first thing they should do in Chile, to check, the health of people. You understand? to see if you have any diseases. Yes, because in Santiago at least there are there's an increase, you know, in HIV, in SIDA, AIDS, you know. So they need, first of all, they need to check up their health. Yes, and they need vaccinations before they enter the country. And then we need, you know, better conditions for them. They come here to the Chilean dream and they live, you know, crowded in small places. So we need more regulations because there are many immigrants. At the beginning, it was fun. I saw many Black people here in Santiago, you know, and it was fun. I thought that it was great, you know, because globalization implies, you know, immigration. That's everywhere in the world. But then when this has no control, it's difficult. So we need more laws, you know, we need laws, regulations, right? Okay, so Gonzalo, are you still in quarantine over there in Iquique?
No, we are in the fase 2
Okay.
since the last week.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we have to learn to live with coronavirus. Yes. Anyway, here we have another link that you can study. It's from the British Council. So do you know how to talk about past habits using used to and would? They used to live in London. I didn't used to like olives. You know olives? Aceitunas. So I didn't used to like olives and now I like them, you can say. We would always go to the seaside for our holiday. Seaside. Yes, this is new vocabulary for you. Seaside. But one holiday we went to the mountains instead. When you talk about one holiday, one situation in the past, you only use simple past. You understand? When do you use, excuse me, when do you use used to and would? You use used to and would for repeated actions in the past, for habits. Yes? So remember here, we used to live in New York. There didn't used to be a supermarket. Did you used to have a garden? Remember, please, that here use is no D. You don't use D here because you have didn't, and in the question, no D because it's, you know, the use of did here. I used to go swimming every Thursday. She used to smoke, but she gave up a few years ago. We can use would to talk about repeated actions in the past. Every Saturday, I would go on a long bike ride. My dad would read me amazing stories every night at bedtime. Yes? Okay, so here we have an exercise that we are going to do together. Okay, please everybody, microphones on, free participation, please. Number one, please. When I was young, we
Used to live.
Used to go fishing.
Of course. Here, nothing to do. Present perfect, nothing to do here.
Would have.
Yes. We will have breakfast and then quietly out of the house to the river because it's a repeated action. Fishing.
We would spend hours.
Fishing, yes. My brother
Used to know.
Okay, here
Assertive verbs.
it's a stative verb. What is a stative verb? A
No.
stative, no, is a stative verb here? No, yes. So we cannot use here would. So used to
Used
know.
to.
Excellent.
Would come.
Yes, would come is a repeated action. For example, when do you say he was coming is when one story. For example, I was at a friend's house, and when my father was coming for me, he had an accident. Yes? So in that moment,
Didn't used to get.
he didn't used to get angry. Okay, let's see. Once. What happens when it's only one time?
Cause.
Code.
I got. Simple. Finish. Oh, 8 out of 8, guys. Good. We are learning. Excellent. Okay. What else do we have for today? Explanation. We're going to read, guys. Okay. Here we have a reading about Rhonda's ramblings. Ramblings. This is a blog, you know? You know rambling? What is rambling? Here I have it ready for you. Rambling. It's like divagaciones. Es una divagación así como pensamientos. ¿Ah? Pensamientos, divagaciones. So esta mujer, this woman, you know, writes a blog with her ramblings, Rhonda's ramblings. And it's childhood memories from 2004, from September 11, 2004. Find the expressions on the left in the block and match each one with a similar expression. I am going to read first, but I want you to read this silently for 2 minutes. Everybody silently. Okay, so in general, what is this story about? What are they talking about in this
Uh,
reading?
she his brother fight because sit in front of the car.
Okay, yes, because they wanted to sit down in front of the car. And is it similar today? The situation of the cars and children sitting?
No. They have to go in the back seat.
With a safety seat,
It's
right?
a road, no?
It's the law, right? It's the law. It's legal. Okay, so in the past, it says here, this would have taken a lot of the joy away from my childhood. Ah, no, this is not a past sentence. The situation would have taken a lot of the joy. What examples we have here with past tense? Past tense. Okay, here, the front seat would go to whoever yelled, I called the front. Yes, this is past, but it had to be. We couldn't call it. It's past tense, the past tense of can. Any other examples in past tense?
Um, we would decide who got the front was by a rule over who's strong.
Yes, and we would determine who got to sit in the front. So it was a repeated action in the past. We would decide who got the front by arguing, yes? Okay, so now please listen to me. Kids always have to sit in the back seat these days. They can't sit in the front seat because every car now has airbags and kids might get hurt by these safety devices. This would have taken a lot of the joy away from my childhood. Continue, Paula. How many times?
How many times did my brother and I fight over who got to sit in front? I'm surprised my mom never really a policy.
Implemented?
Implemented a policy. She kind of left it put to us. Once in a while, she would put her foot down and make us take turns. Otherwise, it was a free-for-all, all being my brother and I. I recall that at times the front seat would go to whoever yelled. I called the front first, but
Yes,
it had
whoever yelled. Ah, yes, yelled. Paula, repeat, yelled.
yelled.
But it had to
But
be
it
after.
but it had to be after we were outside of the store or the house. We couldn't call it while we were sitting inside.
Yes, continue, please, Pia. Sometimes we would determine.
And sometimes we will determine who got to sit in the front by whoever touch
Touched.
touch the car first. I inevit I
Inevitable.
ine- inevitable inevitable lost in this once because my brother was older and more athletic and therefore quicker. So he would take the car first.
Very good. Okay, Diego. And the other way.
Okay, and the other way, we would decide who got the front was by arguing over whose turn it was. Of course, we always thought it was
Thought.
our thought thought it was our own turn. So we'd argue about it until one of us gave an in. Oh, sorry, miss. Or my mom got frustrated enough
Frustrated.
frustrated enough to make one of us sit in the back.
Yes, thank you. So we'd argue about it until one of us gave in. Gave in. Se diera por vencido. We would argue, we would fight, we would discutir. Huh? We would argue. Or my mom got frustrated enough to make one of us sit in the back. Please, Isidora. Kids.
Kids nowadays don't even know what they are missing. For my brother and me, fighting over the front seat was an important part of our sibling bonding.
Yes, sibling. You know sibling? Sibling is brother or sister. How many siblings do you have? I have, for example, 4 siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters. And bonding is, you know, link. Yes, bonding is the link, the join. Bonding. Remember that you have to look for the vocabulary. Yes?
Bonding. Bonding.
Yes, so becoming emotionally close. Yes, so this is bonding. And we have here the sibling bonding, brother and sister. So let's see now the vocabulary that in this reading you have basically the use of would. We would decide, yes, and we would argue about it. We would determine. So you have the use of would basically here. Find the expressions on the left in the blog. What is implemented a policy?
Made a set of rules.
Yes, very good. Made a set of rules. Yes, because policy is politica and politics is politica. But what is the difference? Policy is what you implement, for example, in your house or at work. Yes, the policy is that you shouldn't smoke inside the office, or that we all have to be, you know, very generous with our colleagues. That's the politica, huh? The rules that you have in your house, at work, or at school. Yes, and politics is the problem that we have now in Chile. Yes, that I don't like any politicians. You say politicians. Yes, politicians are really bad in our country. Yes, they don't do their job. They are not working correctly. They should work more. Yes, so the pronunciation is politics. This is politics. You understand? What the governments in Valparaiso, the congressmen are in politics, and the people are politicians. That's the pronunciation, okay? And in this case, we are talking about implemented a policy, a set of rules. Left it up to us. Left it up to us. What is that?
Let us decide what to do.
Yes, very good. Letter E. Put her foot down.
Demanded something strongly.
Uh-huh. Yes, put her foot down, and then free for all. What is free for all?
A
Agree
competition.
to something with the man?
A competition
No.
with no rules.
Yes, a competition with no rules is free for all. And gave in is agreed to someone's demand. Okay? Gave in. I told you that's darse por vencido. That's gave in. I gave in. Agreed to someone's demand. And sibling bonding is?
Forming a close relationship with a brother or sister.
Very good. Yes. Rhonda's mother always decided who would ride in the front seat. True or false?
False.
False. Rhonda and her brother had rules for deciding who rode in the front seat.
False.
False. If Rhonda yelled, I called the front inside the house, she could write in front.
False.
No, it's true. Because they had to say, I called the front.
But it says inside the house.
Yeah, but not inside the car. If you say this inside the car, you lose. But if you say this before getting into the car, you win.
But in the text says that they have to tienen que estar afuera de la tienda o...
But it had to be after we were, yes, you're right, outside the store of the house, yes. Very good, yes, Paula, we were outside of the store. You have to be outside, so it's false. I thought that it was outside the car. Rhonda would usually touch the car before her brother.
False.
False. And Rhonda and her brother always thought it was their turn to ride in front.
True.
Yes, they always thought it was their turn. Okay, so you have a lot of new vocabulary here about, memories in the past. Yes? Okay, next class, you are going to have this oral test and I send the instructions, yes? I send the instructions to Aula. Did you receive them? Yes?
Yes, miss.
Okay, do you have any questions about your oral test?
Miss Matías tenía dudas, pero me dijo que no podía venir porque tenía que hacer algo más. No sé qué.
But in the test, in the oral test?
Sí. Él me dijo que no sabía qué había que hacer. Yo le dije que eran dos partes, que una era como de tu familia y la otra parte era escribir una foto con el vocabulario de city, buildings, skyscrapers, department stores. ¿Está bien eso, no?
A ver. What is the test that I sent to you about families, right?
Yes. You need 3.
Yeah, okay, here we have the test. Yeah, reading is not allowed, avoid all background noise. Look for the unknown vocabulary from Unit 3, 2 minutes per student, rehearse with a chronometer, feedbacks and grades will be sent after, okay. So here you have to choose one picture, the one on the right or the one on the left, and you have to describe it thoroughly for 1 minute. Do you remember how to describe? You can speculate too, yes? ¿Se acuerdan que vimos unos PowerPoints en el pasado que tenían que especular y describir la página, la foto que veían a la derecha, a la izquierda, atrás? Y lo más importante es especular porque no se ve mucho. Pero usando lo que aprendieron en la unidad, acuérdense que aprendieron las verbs y los verbos, pues, make, get, have, tienen que ingeniársela ahí para usar ese vocabulario y esa estructura. Y después de describir por 1 minuto una de estas 2 fotos, tienen que hablar en general de la familia por 1 minuto. Y ahí yo les di algunas ideas. ¿Qué pueden hablar? Different kinds of families nowadays. Vimos las blended, las extended families, el single parent. Typical family gripes in our society, the complaints. Personal information or issues in your family. También puede empezar a hablar de su familia, de su vivencia. Las activities que solían hacer with your family cuando eran chicos, Pueden hablar también de la diferencia entre home y house y family ties, o sea, pueden hablar lo que quieran de las familias usando obviamente las estructuras gramaticales y el vocabulario visto. Entonces son 2 minutos por alumno, uno tras otro, por eso le pedí a Claudio que me hiciera un listado de la gente para que estén listos, porque yo ese día casi no hablo. Ese día yo tengo que tomar nota, ir viendo su test y después vuelvo a ver el video y pongo las notas. Y aquí les mandé la rúbrica, el tiempo de participación, pronunciación y comunicación. El task completion quiere decir si hizo o no lo que yo le pedí, porque a lo mejor un alumno viene y describe la pura foto, entonces ahí le tengo que bajar la nota. Pero son 2 actividades que tiene que hacer, describir la foto y hablar de la familia. Vocabulario, lexis is covered in the units. Y la estructura, grammar structures are covered. Entonces ahí está el puntaje con el 60% de exigencia. ¿Ah? That's it. Se lo explico en español porque es primera vez que dan una prueba oral muchos de este curso, porque no estaban el semestre pasado. Antes me mandaban un video a mi mail y yo revisaba video por video, pero ahora quieren que lo grabemos en Zoom. Así que vamos a tener que grabarlo en Zoom, ¿ya?
Me hizo una pregunta.
¿Mm?
¿Es realmente una de esas fotos que están en el Word o son otras fotos?
No, pues si usted tiene que tener listo esto. Yo le estoy dando esto con tiempo, no es improvisado. Porque
Ya.
no puede ser improvisado porque no alcanzo en el Zoom. O sea, imagínate yendo foto por foto, distintas fotos de los alumnos, no alcanzo. Entonces, por Zoom, usted tiene que elegir obligatoriamente una de esas 2 fotos y me va a decir, ok, Miss, yo escogí, I chose the picture on the left, or I chose the picture on the right. In this picture, I can see, this picture shows, and then now I'm going to talk about Unit 3, families. In my opinion, families are, from my point of view, tiene que tenerlo listo, y por eso le digo que ensaye con un cronómetro, porque tienen que ser 2 minutos, y no puede así estar el inglés como cortado, ni tampoco empezar a decir, ay, es que no sé cómo se decía los reclamos de la familia, ¿cómo era? No, tiene que tenerlo listo, prepararlo. Antes usted preparaba un video y me lo mandaba, ahora tiene que ser en directo y sin leer, porque yo me doy cuenta al tiro que él lee y eso va a ser, baja la nota de todo. Al leer, baja toda la nota. Entonces, por eso que les mandé 2 fotos con tiempo para que lo preparen y no tengan excusa de decirme, ay, Miss, es que yo no sé cómo se decía esto, no sé. Tiene que buscar su vocabulario, usted, you know, the pronunciation and everything. ¿Ok?
Miss, otra cosa, ese día nos conectamos como siempre a la clase y usted va diciendo quién comienza, quién viene después y
No,
todo.
Claudio tiene la lista.
Ya,
Ustedes se tenían que anotar con Claudio.
ya.
Porque yo le mandé un mail a él en privado y le pedí que me hiciera ese favor, porque no vamos a estar ese día, ay, no, Miss, que yo no quiero todavía, no, Miss, que yo no, tiene que ir uno tras otro, tiene que ser ágil porque tenemos súper poco tiempo y uno tras otro, entonces Claudio va diciendo ya, Jin, listo, Isidora, Pía, y yo lo único que hago ese día es tomar nota de sus errores y de su performance para ponerle la nota después.
Ya, Miss,
Tiene que
gracias.
ser ágil, ese día, entonces Claudio está a cargo ese día del orden. Ahora si alguien quiere salir al principio o al final, lo ve con Claudio, ¿ya?
Claudia, por el correo puedes mandar como un link de algún grupo o algo de WhatsApp para organizarnos, porque yo dije que iba a participar, pero no sé en qué orden estoy. O sea, si estoy al principio, si estoy al final,
Ya,
o cómo.
lo hago al tiro.
O si quieren hagan un WhatsApp, porque ahora en este grupo tengo a la Pía y a la Rocío, que antes no estaban. Entonces podrían hacer un WhatsApp con la gente. Claudio tiene el listado original y tendría que agregar a la Pía y a la Rocío que van a estar con nosotros y van a presentar en este grupo. Lo que me ayuda mucho porque en el otro curso tengo 25. Entonces ahora son 23 allá. Pero yo supongo que con ustedes necesito una clase nomás. Ahora, si no alcanzamos el martes, el jueves, por cualquier motivo vamos a tener que dejar a los pendientes para de vuelta de vacaciones, pero irán a ser 1 o 2 personas nomás. En cambio, en el otro curso yo tengo que destinar 2 clases solo para evaluar. ¿Me entienden? Entonces, ojalá terminemos todo esto este jueves, cosa de poder tener más tiempo para seguir aprendiendo. ¿Ya? Ese día en sus casas avisen a su mamá, a su papá, no sé quién esté ahí, tengo una prueba oral, por favor que no me interrumpan, porque de repente, y que mantengan el silencio, si son 2 minutos nomás. Porque de repente yo no logro escuchar, hay gente, porque tú el otro día estaba con una alumna en el otro curso y yo pensaba que habían aviones arriba de su casa y nada, y eran los buses que pasaban, las micros. Entonces yo no le entendía nada, no le escuchaba, te juro, cierren la ventana, o sea, prefiero que se mueran de calor un rato, pero please, que yo les pueda entender lo que me hablan para ayudarlos a mejorar, ¿ok? Please. Y all the oral tests that we're going to have this semester are going to be like this, okay? So now you're clear. Yes?
Okay, Miss.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Miss.
Bye,
Miss.
Miss.
Bye,
Bye,
Miss.
Miss.
Thank you.